My name is Gail Bowie. I've been working here for probably over 35 years. When Dr. Sugg trained me to be an exam assistant, I worked with him, and I've been working with him ever since. He taught me everything I know. We worked well together. He was the doctor that would come into the operatory and say, "Hey, Mrs. Jones, how you doing today?" And he would grab them and give them a kiss on their forehead. The patients just loved that. He loved his patients. That's what he lived for. This was his first home. If something was not right, he would make sure it was corrected and fixed. He really loved his work. We still have patients that comes in and asks, "Well, where's Dr. Sugg? How's Dr. Sugg doing?" It's just an everyday thing. I miss him, and it's hard working here without him.
His first scheduled patient was at 6 a.m. His last scheduled patient was at 8 p.m. All emergencies were encouraged to come in after 8 o'clock, and he would stay until midnight, 1 o'clock. He'd drive 3 minutes down the road, get some sleep, and be right back here. He'd come in at 7. I never saw anybody that worked so hard. What was important to Harry was God, family, work, and then politics. He took work seriously. I stopped by his house, and Carrie answered the door. I said, "I was just in the area, I was stopping by, I needed to talk to him, something." And she smirked. She said, "He's not here, Al, but we do have 2 children, so he's been home twice in the last 20 years. Harry helped me out. The whole time I was very honored to be called his friend.
Hi, my name is Dr. Afshin Vahadi. I'm a general dentist practicing in Frisco, Texas. I remember Dr. Sugg was like an energizer bunny. He kept going and going and going. I still follow his discipline. I still remember classes we took together at the LVI. The time he cried on my shoulder when his mom passed away. I could not have asked for probably a better role model. Through all his daily load of responsibilities, he never lost his cool, never raised his voice. He never complained and wanted us to do the same. I'm still trying to follow in his footsteps. My wife and I decided to build a new office, and I asked for his advice on how to set things up at the new office. His advice regarding my new office project is etched into my practice forever. Thank you.
My name's Melissa Blake. I started here in about 2006. I worked here at Wheeland Dental for 13 years. He put patients first. That was his main goal. Anything he did was patient oriented. One day I'm sitting in the office and him and Carrie come to me and they're like, "We're signed you up for Dale Carnegie classes," which was a public speaking course. That was one of my big fears, is public speaking. But at the end of it, I could tell that I grew professionally and personally. He was a grandfather figure to a lot of staff members. He would teach us work-life balance and spend time with your family, but also come to work and do what you're supposed to do. Thank you so much for investing in your staff and giving them the tools that they need to move on in their careers.
Hi, my name is Tom Orant, and I run a program called Freedom Summit Coaching for Dentists. Harry has been a part of our GEMS family, our Freedom Summit family, for 20 years. Harry was at every one of our events, and we had a couple events every year. And the thing that I'll never forget about Harry at our events was he always sat in the front row. Harry wanted to be right in the front at every continuing education event so he would not miss a word. And I loved how engaged he was and just how much he cared about learning. When he gave me the tour of his office, he showed me a locked library. It was lock and key library, and he said that there were only 1 or 2 people who had the key to the room, and it was an expansive room, and it was a library of continuing education that he had taken over the years and cataloged everything, and it was videos and audios, and again, everything was just beautifully cataloged so you could find anything at a moment's notice. And he was really proud of that, as he should be. I told Harry that outside of any dental school, it was really the largest continuing education library I had ever seen.
I'm Elisa. I'm the hygienist, and I've worked at Wheatland Dental for I think about 2.5 years. When I came here, I was so impressed with how Dr. Sugg had ran his business. I've been a hygienist a long time. I just felt at home when I first came. I respected him right off the start. I love working here. I love his patients. Getting to know his patients has been a really great trip for me. Everyone loves him. He was just a natural, and it was just great to get to know him. The patient comes first, and it showed in his work. It showed by the patients that were still coming, and their kids, and their kids, and passed on down generations have come to see him. I'll never forget him. He was special to me, and I loved his jokes. I love his big smile, and he's always going to be a special part of my life.
I'm Dr. Lyle Petroutzis. I was an associate dentist at Wheatland Dental Care from 1996 to 2001. Dr. Sugg hired me out of school, so this is my first job. It was a great experience and something that I still carry with me. Working with Dr. Sugg was an amazing experience, and it was jumping into a car and going 60 miles per hour and learning how to become a great dentist and dealing and treating patients. He had so much knowledge and experience that I was really just like a sponge, soaking up all his information and ways of treating people and treating our patients. He was always on the go. It was great because I just would be able to learn from him. He had such a passion for dentistry, and it always showed in the way he, discussed cases and talked about patients and thought of ways of treating people.
My name is Melissa Jones, and my role was a treatment counselor is what I was hired for. Pretty much up to the end, I was the AR, helping in the AR department. I started in July of 2009, so almost 11 years I was at Wheatland. He helped me grow professionally by investing in his staff and investing in me. Took me to lots of seminars, really helped me in my leadership role and to just be more confident. I want to say to Dr. Sugg, thank you for the investment that you saw in me. When I came here, you said it all the time, employees start here who can't spell tooth. I was one of them. I had no idea anything about teeth. Now with Dr. Sugg, I just thankful for his training, his time, and helping me grow to the person I am today.
My name is Shirley Blanton. I've worked with Dr. Sugg for about 5 years. I saw him this way, but I don't think he saw himself this way. People don't care what you know until they know you care. And with him, with his patients, he would always make sure his patients knew he cared. Kerry does an amazing job taking care of the staff, and always has. 5 years I've been here, Kerry's always been that person. He'd go, "You wonder how I got such a beautiful woman, don't you?" I'd go, "It has crossed my mind." And they have 2 beautiful daughters. They're caring, they're loving, they're doers, they're hard workers. He was very proud of both of them. He was so proud of the girls. Laura keeps her hands in everything physical around here, getting things done all the time. And then we have Jacqueline that has swept in on the business end of it, and they're a very good team. And I know right now he would be so proud of both of you. I know your mom's proud of you. But I know your dad would. I know he would be so proud. He was a strong man. He raised and has 2 very strong daughters.
I'm Dr. Dilip Voorhees. I've been an associate dentist with Wheatland Dental since 2020. He was a mentor to many of the dentists who worked at Wheatland Dental Care. So he was a mentor to me. He helped me develop my skills and techniques. He helped me grow my competence and confidence.
Dr. Sugg worked really hard to treat the whole patient, not just their teeth.
I mean, that's one of the things that I really liked about him, is he always tried to push you to be better.
My name is Veronica Barrera. I've been here at Wheatland Dental for a year and a half. Pearl Harbor Day. Dr. Sugg was a fierce, fierce patriot. United States of America, love it or leave it. This was our country, this is his country, and he was very, very proud to be an American. He liked for us to remember Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, 1941. For a couple of hours, the office would shut down. So the whole staff would come in and we watched pieces of World War II in color, which did not contain any Hollywood glitz or glamour, which is the way Dr. Sugg wanted it. And so we watched that and we learned about the Japanese attack building up to attack Pearl Harbor, but this attack, rather than damage the spirit of the United States of Americans, it rallied the entire country. The United States regained ground and came back to defeat Japanese forces. He was very, very proud of his country, and he conveyed that to us. And we are prouder Americans for having learned about Pearl Harbor and learning about the origin of our national anthem. And we would close out the Pearl Harbor Memorial Day reciting the national anthem, standing, hand over your heart, and reciting the pledge.
My dad was extremely patriotic. He would always say that the real celebrities are people who are serving our country. One time there was a guy that called up to the office and said, "Hey, I'm about to be deployed. I want to make sure that, you know, my bill is taken care of for my wife and kids." And my dad said, "Wait, where'd you say you're going?" And he said, "I'm about to be deployed." And my dad said, "Don't worry about it. I don't know what your bill is. Your bill's paid." And he just really believed that if people were giving their lives, that the rest of us staying home in America needed to give as much as we could to support men and women, to celebrate them, to honor them, and celebrate their families and the sacrifices they were making. It was really important to my dad to remember Pearl Harbor Day. It was such a turning point for America, and my dad was born about a year before Pearl Harbor Day happened, and so it really shaped his life. I remember him calling me a few years ago and saying, "Hey Jacqueline, Pearl Harbor Day is coming up. Can you get off work and come to the program?" And so I took off work and came up here for the Pearl Harbor Day program. And inevitably, at the end of every single program, people would say, "I'm glad I came." He was so grateful, and he wanted everybody else to be grateful, because gratitude really moves us to action of taking care of other people.